appreciate you being here to help us spread the word by planting. And also the groups that are here collectively all really value that system. So the Jefferson County Conservation District, in support of them in their annual plant sale, we thought, what can we do to boost this up even more? Because this is their single biggest fundraiser for them as an organization. And so we made the decision to work together to put this on. It was free, so that's another benefit for you, which is great. And before we start, just out of curiosity, there's a couple of questions that we wanted to ask you. How many of you have purchased from the Conservation District before?
I think I have.
So probably about a third of you. That's great. In the sheets of paper that we gave you, there's a copy of the form that the Conservation District uses in ordering their plants. On the back side is a description of the plants, a very short one. But in helping you make this decision about which plants for the right place, we're going to offer you a depth of information. Rebecca Benjamin from NOSC is going to talk about the natural system and how native plants fit into it. After that, Fred Wyman from the Native Plant Society, the Olympic chapter of the Washington Native Plant Society, is going to illustrate for you through photographs and descriptions the plants that the Jefferson Conservation District are offering. After that, there's a break, and then Luke Tierney from the Conservation District is going to talk about the right plant for the right place. And then Alicia Aguirre is going to talk about site and soil preparation and what's the best way to maintain the plants once you get them. Now, they're doing a lot of work, but for this to be valuable for you, you need to do some work too. And that's on the back side of one of the sheets that we gave you. There is a chart, and as you go through these, if you look and you think in your mind, what's the landscape like at my place that I want to put these plants into, if there's special conditions about that particular site, please note them. And as Luke and Fred and Alicia talk, make little notes there in the last column about a particular plant, so that this becomes a working document for you to use. On the back side of it is a resource list we put together of our favorite books for native plants, and also resources on the web that you can access to download free information. And then all of the people represented here are a wealth of information for you. The Washington Native Plant Society has a display with free materials. Next to it are the enemies of native plants, noxious weeds, and the Noxious Weed Board has put information on the back about them. And then the programs from WSU and the Conservation District and the North Olympic Salmon Coalition are there also. So we'll try and stick to the schedule. There's bathrooms just outside the door. And when this program is over at 12 o'clock, if you need some guidance on making a final plant selection, the presenters will stay and help you individually if you'd like. So before we start, were there any particular questions that you had that brought you to this meeting that you would like addressed that weren't mentioned on this sheet, so that we can make sure we give you what you need in being here?
Well, it has to do with part of the plant descriptions. It tells me how big these plants are going to be in 50 years. And that's really nice, but you know, so one of the things that it's part of when they're talking about some of these, like the illustration of plants. If you can give some idea of what the growth rate is.
That'd be great. Luke and...
We'll be talking about that later in the workshop.
That's great. That's a great idea. Any other questions? Now from our perspective... Oh, yeah? Mark?
Did you mean to give this away?
No, we did not mean to give that away. Thank you. This is not a freebie. WSU has published a publication called Grow Your Own Native Landscape, which talks about how to take the cuttings, the seeds, layering, the propagation techniques that are used if you have existing native plants and want to expand that. So this is for sale for $7. So if you have it, hand it back to me, and you can go to the front desk at WSU. We have lots of copies there that are available. Well, I want to introduce Rebecca Benjamin, who's going to start. And welcome.